All right. So the Seahawks game is about to finish. This is the cold open. I have a dumb thought. I thought that in football it was kind of like college basketball where each play was like 3 seconds long. How does he get to spike it and the clock not run out? Dumb thought to start off the show. All right, the Sunday Night Football game just ended, and I just tweeted out the dumbest thing ever. I was literally predicting a tie to happen, and as I was tweeting it, Geno Smith fumbled it. Embarrassing on my part. Okay, Lions. Let's start off the podcast talking about the Lions, right? My dad, who was on the podcast last week, calls me and goes, Pierce, why aren't you sad? Why aren't you more mad? Why aren't you yelling more? And I told him honestly, I've been here. I'm used to this. I wish I could be mad about the Lions. I got mad about the Packers game. I got mad about this and that. That's because I still had hope. I mean, you still have hope. But now we're 0-5. It's kind of predictable. It would be weird, and this is what I told him. It's like brushing my teeth. I do it every day. It's just a normal damn thing, right? It would be weird, and I'd be more emotional if the Lions were actually good. Could you imagine if the Lions could win 10 games in a season? Then I'd sit around and be like, well, then it's weird. Then I'd get emotional. But this is where I'm comfortable. This is it's like going to Dunkin' Donuts. Just very comfortable, nice, easy going. It's not whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get mad. I mean, that's not true. I am going to get mad. But I don't know. What's the answer? And I tweeted that out. What's the answer? And I see people tweeting all the time. It's like, oh, we should get Cam Newton. What is he going to do? Is he going to win 6 games? Congrats. Just keep Jared Goff. Keep sucking. Who cares, man? You're not making the playoffs. I mean, you already got 6 losses. That means you got to win every single game in order to have a chance. What are you going to do? This is despair. This is stupid. And it's the rebuilding. I'm not in the camp of firing Dan Campbell. I'm really not. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's a good motivator, and I think he's good for what we need right now. For me, who cares, man? Ugh. At least we have DeAndre. My dad called, and he was like, so about this Lions team, what's good about us? Is there anything positive? And I said, yeah, for sure. DeAndre Swift. And he goes, okay, anything else? I was like, yeah, TJ Hawkinson. He's good. Anything else? Not really. What's the point? No, what's the point of being a Lions fan? We need to rebrand as Lions fans. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that future holds. We need to rebrand because it's getting ridiculous. There's no point. There's no point of rooting for the Lions. There's nothing. There's nothing here. Nothing here. There's nothing to root for. There's nothing to be hopeful for. It's not like I'm watching the Browns, and the Browns were just as big of a joke as the Lions for as long, and they're a legitimate playoff team. And you know what? I'm watching them. I'm like, maybe that could be us one day. Hell no. That'll never be us. We're garbage. We're trash. So stupid. We deserve so much better. All right. I'm going to move on because I can't. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about other than that. Really, there's not. What do you want me to do? Rant for 18 minutes about how bad Jared Goff is? With a decent quarterback, I still think that with Matt Stafford, we would lose to the Packers and we'd lose to the Bengals. But other than that, we would win every single game. With a legitimate quarterback, I think we'd be a good team. But we'd be 4-2. What do you want? All right, going to the NFL. Here's some things. Here's some thoughts. Football this week sucked. Like, there wasn't, like, any really good games. Even the Sunday Night Football game tonight where Geno Smith, I mean, there was two really bad teams, it felt to me, playing against each other. It's just football this week. College football wasn't nothing to be excited about. Felt there was not many games that were really that great in the NCAA. And I'm trying to think, NFL, the Minnesota Vikings-Panthers game was good. But and the Cowboys and Patriots game were good. But other than that, football just sucked this week, and it was just an off week, and that's fine. That's fine. At least we have football. That Cowboys Patriots game, to me, I feel like the Cowboys are a legitimate team. They're a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and I feel like, and as mad as this makes me, I think the Patriots are going to be back very soon. I don't know if Bill Belichick's going to be the head coach like 5 years down the road, but I think Mac Jones is a very, very solid quarterback, and if you just make the game simple for him, I think he can be a good quarterback. I think he's going to be a solid NFL quarterback. Not spectacular. I think he might. I don't know if he wins a Super Bowl, but I think he's a good quarterback. Nothing's flashy, nothing crazy. Fifth best completion percentage in the NFL. That's nothing to hang your hat on. He's good. He's good. He's a good quarterback. I think he's going to be just a real solid quarterback. Aaron Rodgers going to Chicago and saying, I still own this city. Look, I hate Aaron Rodgers just like everybody else does. But that's freaking funny. That is freaking funny. For him to look, and in the press conference, he goes, yeah, no, the lady was giving me a double birds, and apparently I said that because I blacked out. That's funny. That's just all around. That's funny. I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. And he does own Chicago. Sorry, Bears fans, but he owns you. And he also owns Detroit. Arizona Cardinals. My Arizona Cardinals. I tweeted this out. I was like, thank God I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, and I got a lot of heat for it. It's a joke. All right? It's a joke. I know I live here in Phoenix, but it's a joke. I kind of root for them just because they're the local team. When it comes down to it, I don't give a crap. They could be 0-6, and I wouldn't care. But that team is good. They got it. The thing is, everybody talks about how flashy their offense is, which is flashy. James Conner's their backup running back. AJ Green is their third or fourth best wide receiver. It's a great offense, but that defense is nothing. That is a good defense. Colts showing up. I'm a big Colts guy. I feel as though I'm the only Colts guy in America, honestly. Nobody talks about the Colts. Carson Wentz looked great. I know it's the Houston Texans, but they looked great. Broncos against the Raiders. I felt like the Broncos really should have won that game if they were worth anything, but I think they just proved that they are not a playoff team. They're not going to win more than 7 games. They're not good. They're a bad football team. Jackson Mahomes put up some big numbers tonight. He had 3 TikToks and 1 got deleted. Jackson Mahomes did great, carried the Chiefs to a victory. All about Jackson Mahomes. I'll talk about that in my final thoughts. I love Jackson Mahomes. If Jackson Mahomes saw this and tweeted at me and said, nice podcast, that'd be awesome. I love Jackson Mahomes. Jacksonville, the best game of the weekend. Probably Jacksonville versus Miami. Jacksonville wins. They break the 20-game curse, and now the Lions, number 1, baby. The best team, in my opinion. They have the longest losing streak. Let's go Lions. We're number 1. Hey, at least we're number 1 at something. Not every team gets to say that. But I had a conversation today about where I would rank the Lions in the NFL. Because they're the only 0-6 team. And maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't think they're the worst team in football. I really don't. I don't think they're the worst team in football. I would think that they're the 3rd worst team in football, but they're not the worst. I think they would beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think they'd beat the Houston Texans. Where would you think? Where would you rank them? For me, I have them 3rd worst. Quite honestly. I think that's fair, right? They're not the worst. I mean, they'd beat Houston. And they'd for sure beat Jacksonville. Maybe they'd even beat Miami. All right. Yeah, the NFL and the Lions sucked. I don't even want to talk about it. I really don't. It just sucked all around. All right, European Minute. Last thoughts about the NFL. Dan Campbell, keep your job, all right? I'm not trying to. A lot of people are like, let's fire Dan Campbell. Let's get rid of Jared Goff. All right, who are you going to get, right? Like Jared Goff, he's bad. Dan Campbell, he's aggressive. I think with Dan Campbell's offensive play calling and his aggressiveness, I think with any quarterback that is a decent quarterback, I think they win like 3 games. So I'm not out on Dan Campbell. I'm really not. All right, European Minute, just to change it up a little bit, all right? Starts at 3, 2, 1, now. I haven't talked about this yet on the podcast, but I've always been a Newcastle United fan. Huge for me. Newcastle United, big Newcastle, and oh my gosh, I'm just getting the news that they have the richest. Look at that! Wow, is that crazy? I've always been a Newcastle United fan. What's a Chelsea? Don't even care about them. Newcastle United. If you're just starting to think about getting into soccer, become a Newcastle United fan right now. Chelsea's the real deal. They're first in the English Premier League. They're the real freaking deal, man. I think they could win. I think they win their Premier League, and they might even win the Champions League. Manchester United sucks, and I love seeing it. Everybody's like, "Oh, their defense is so good. Their defense is yeah, You're nothing. You're nothing compared to Chelsea. It's no F1 next week. That's been your European Minute. All right, going back to football. NCAA football. As you guys know, I'm a Husker alum. I went to Nebraska. And Nebraska's in a bad spot. Nebraska's in a bad spot. And there's no other college I hate more than Iowa. But you know what? I need to shout out Iowa this week. Big shout out to Iowa. Thank you. Thank you for covering up the fact that the Huskers lost with easily the most embarrassing loss I have ever seen in my life. Thank you. Thank you to Iowa for losing to Purdue. That was the greatest gift that Iowa's ever given me. Thank you. Truly thank you. The fact that you lost to Purdue at home. I mean, for Purdue, this is the headline. Purdue goes on the road and beats the second best team in the nation. That's funny. That's a funny headline in and of itself. But then tack on Iowa at the end of it. Beautiful. I think Iowa got exposed. I don't think they're really not that good. Colorado State almost beat them. I think Wisconsin could beat them. I think Nebraska could beat them. I think Iowa still has 3 losses on their schedule. They got exposed. Michigan State looks really good, even though they struggled at Indiana. Indiana's a solid team. I'm worried about Mel Tucker, though. It's been one day of no Coach O. Coach O got fired. That's why I'm wearing my LSU hat in solidarity. I'm really kind of interested about LSU wanting Mel Tucker. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Not that Mel Tucker, I don't know. On both sides. Mel Tucker, why are you leaving Michigan State? LSU, why Mel Tucker? Right? I understand that he's turned MSU around very quickly, but that just doesn't fit in my brain. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but that doesn't add up for me. At one point last week, Michigan State was the only team that was 7-0. So there's that. I'm still sad about Coach O. Coach O. I'm sad. I'm literally wearing the LSU hat just because I was sad about Coach O being fired / leaving. He was gonna leave. He's leaving on his own accord. I'll be interested to see where Coach O goes next because somebody will hire him. He'll be a good coordinator. He'll be a good offensive line coach. You know what makes a lot of sense is him going to head coach U, Alabama. If he would be like the offensive line coach at Alabama, like Doug Marrone is, it'd make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense to me. Auburn versus Arkansas at Arkansas. I'm going to both Arkansas and Auburn here in the next couple weeks. So had rooting interest. All I've got to say, I love Bo Nix. I do. Everybody hates Bo Nix for no reason. I love Bo Nix. He's so much fun. Is he an NFL quarterback? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But is he the absolute perfect, like, for me, it feels like he was built in a lab for SEC quarterbacks. Like, he just runs around and has fun. But he's like, I feel like he's just a perfect mold of a good SEC quarterback. I love Bo Nix. I do. I love Bo Nix. And I told you about Oklahoma State. I told you guys. I told all of you. They had one hurdle in my mind until the last game of the season against Oklahoma. They got Iowa State next at Iowa State, which will be tough, but I think they'll win that game. It was Texas. This was their big hurdle, and they jumped through it. Oklahoma State is going to be there in the last week. They're going to be the number 2 ranked team. Everybody's going to be yelling and screaming about how they should be in the Final Four. You watch. They're going to do that. They're going to be in the Final Four at the very end. It's going to be Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State for the Big 12 championship, the pre-Big 12 championship, and Oklahoma's going to win that game, break the hearts of many. But I'm telling you, at least I told you about Oklahoma State. I've been wrong. I have not been wrong on any of my college football picks. I told you Georgia was going to win the national championship or be a national championship contender, and I'm telling you Oklahoma State is going to do it. I love how that's my list. I've got 2 predictions that are correct, and I'm like, oh, I'm a guru. Okay, my top 4 for right now. Please tell me what you think the top 4 is right now. I've got Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2, Oklahoma number 3, Ohio State number 4. And if you say Cincinnati, I get so mad at this. Oh, Cincinnati's undefeated. Cincinnati's undefeated. They beat a 500 Indiana team and an overrated Notre Dame team at Notre Dame. What do you want? All right? Let's not waste our time. Don't waste my time with putting Cincinnati in there. They're a good team. Not a great team. I'm sorry. That's what I think. I get it. They're number 2 in the nation. You got to put them up there, blah, 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 blah. And if you say Michigan, that makes sense to me. If you say Penn State, that makes sense to me. If you put Oklahoma State, that makes sense to me. If you put Michigan State, that makes sense to me. Cincinnati makes no sense to me. They don't. They don't. I'm sorry. They put up big numbers against UCF. Cool. They beat Indiana. Awesome. Then they're gonna get. That's what makes me so mad. Cincinnati's gonna get like the 2nd or the 3rd spot in the college football playoff. And they're gonna play Georgia, or they're gonna play Oklahoma, or they're gonna play Ohio State, and they're gonna beat them by 50 points, and it's just gonna, it's gonna suck. All right, switch to sports. MLB playoffs. Game 2 was tonight for Atlanta. We got both series through 2 games. Houston 1-1. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a Houston Astros guy. And here's my spin zone. I'm just glad that the Red Sox got all of the runs out before they went back to Boston. As an Astros fan, as an Astros guy, I'm not worried. Other than Lance McCullers being out. That has me worried. A little bit. I still think the Astros win that series. I think that the Red Sox have like a little bit of team of destiny feel to them. But I think the Astros are going to win. Dodgers, Braves. Braves are up 2-0. Ron Washington, shout out to him, man. He's the only reason they won that damn game. He coached the hell out of that third base. I've never seen a third base coach affect a game so positively. Aggressive to say the least. There was a couple times where I was yelling, I don't know if you should do that. And he did it. And they won 2-0. They're up 2-0. Gotta appreciate it. And they're clearly the underdog. They're clearly the team that everybody wants to win because everybody hates the Astros. Everybody hates the Red Sox. Everybody hates the Dodgers. They're the team that everybody wants to win because they affect people the least amount. But I think they might have just ran out of wins. I don't know. They got to get 2 more to go to the World Series. I don't know if they can do it. I really don't. I just don't think they have. I don't think they can do it. I think the Astros win. All right, final predictions right now because I'm going to do a podcast next week. I got the Astros winning in 6, and I got the Dodgers winning in 7. All right, NHL, Red Wings, 1-1, 1-0-1, or wherever. They are clearly young, and they're dumb, but they're fun. They're the exact same as the Tigers. It's crazy that the Red Wings and the Tigers are on the same exact projection, where it's like, you know what? Everybody's kind of predicting them to finish in last, but I think they're going to finish like 9 or 10 in the. I think they're going to finish 9 or 10th in the Eastern Conference, but they're going to be fun. Right? And then I think this is going to be a building block into next year. So I like where the Red Wings are right now, and I think that in the future it's going to be better. I like what they're building. I like the Yzer plan. I just think they're young and dumb right now. They're not smart enough to make that 8 seed or that 6 seed. I think they're just going to be right outside of the playoffs, and I think next year when they take that next step, get a couple more free agents, I think there's going to be a lot more. We're 1 year away from the playoffs. I hate to be the negative Nelly, but I think they're 1 year away from the playoffs, and I think they're going to do better than what most experts think. And I think they're just like the Tigers. Just 1 year away. I don't even know I don't think the Tigers make the playoffs next year because the playoffs are a little bit smaller, but you get the point. They're young, dumb, and fun. And I think it's going to be fun this year if you have that mindset of, yeah, we're not going to make the playoffs, but if we're close, you got to have the right mindset. All right, NBA's coming up this week. Here's my prediction. I think it's the Lakers. Lakers to lose. I think the Lakers win. Lakers win the NBA Finals. Rajon Rondo's too good. And I think Rondo is going to take the Lakers and win the NBA Finals. Pistons this year, there's a part of me that thinks that they're going to finish like last in the Eastern Conference, and there's a part of me that's like there's going to be 3 games left, and the Pistons are going to be like 2 games out, and like they're going to be around at the end, but not make it. I got the Pistons finishing 9th in the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference is bad. 1, Eastern Conference is bad. 2, the Pistons aren't terrible, right? They're young. I got them finishing 9th. I wrote down 10th. I'm making it audible. I'm doing a little bit of a hot route right now. I've got the Pistons finishing in 9th. Cade Cunningham wins Rookie of the Year. And we go into next year looking around being like, got a lot of cap space. Let's go get one guy. And then we make the playoffs and finish about the 5 seed next year. It just sucks because we're just so close. We're so close to getting out of this freaking basement of being a Detroit fan. You know, all of our teams suck, but at least for the first time, I think I'm looking at it and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. All right. WNBA Finals. Chicago Sky beat my Phoenix Mercury. I'm officially 0-2 in the WNBA and the NBA Finals since I've moved to Phoenix. Officially 0-2. I'm sorry to the city of Phoenix. That's my fault. It's a me problem. All right, final thoughts. I'm going to talk about why I love Jackson Mahomes. Because he gets so... I've been tweeting out like his videos and people like immediately comment and say, oh, I hate Jackson Mahomes. I love Jackson Mahomes. I really do. I think I love Jackson Mahomes because he's got no self-awareness. He's got no self-awareness. And I just don't, I think that's hilarious. And I respect him because he just keeps doing it. And I think I like him because he I don't know. There's just something about him that just makes me love him in like a little bit of a sarcastic way, but mostly it's because I think he's genuinely funny. I think he's genuinely a funny character. And I think it's unintentional. I think he tries to be serious, and I think he tries to be like an actual good TikTok dancer, but he's clearly not a great TikTok dancer. I mean, clearly not a great TikTok dancer, but I genuinely think he is one of the funniest characters in sports. I really do. I just there's one video that's coming up in my brain. I'm already talking about Jackson Mahomes way too much right now. There's one video that I love about Jackson Mahomes, and it's right when he started getting TikTok famous, started to get like followers, and he dabs up Patrick Mahomes. You can look this video up. It's like in the AFC playoffs, and he dabs up his own brother. Dabs up Patrick on the sidelines, and the video is like pointed at Jackson, and Jackson just looks at the camera and goes like this. And he's like acting like it's a big deal that he's dapping up his brother. Like, that's funny. That's unintentional. He didn't mean to do that. Like, he's not trying to be funny. I think that's why it's so damn awesome. And I think he's so damn funny because he's so unintentional about himself. Like, he's just like oblivious to everything around him. And I think it's freaking hilarious. I mean, he's stepping on the Sean Taylor 21 number and like, he's like, oh, well, I didn't know. Like, what? Everybody's wearing 21 around you, and you're on the number 21. Oh, that's where they put us. How about, like, have, like, 1 inch of awareness? I love Jackson Mahomes. I do. I really do. It's a weird thing, but I love Jackson Mahomes. I think he's hilarious. And I told my wife that this was going to be my final thought. She goes, why are you even giving him, like, clout? Because he's awesome. He deserves every single follower. From now on, I'm going to tweet out his game day TikToks, and I might do the dances with him right side by side until he tweets at me because I love Jackson Mahomes. Most talented TikToker, most talented football player. Big win for Jackson Mahomes. I'm glad he could pull that one out for the Chiefs. All right, that was a lot of Jackson Mahomes. All right, I appreciate you guys. God bless. Go Detroit Sports.